Today we have Betty. Betty, thank you so much for being here. This is session 2. I will introduce Betty. She's a mobile engineer who builds beautiful and user-friendly iOS apps with diverse and inclusive teams for Barnmove in Amsterdam. She has worked in engineering roles for entrepreneur to engineer and disciplines from electronic systems to mobile applications. So thank you so much for being here today, Betty. I will stop sharing my screen and over to you.
Thank you, Gracia. Alors, I will share my screen. And is it good? No, it is not good. This one up. So thank you for the welcome and the presentation, and also thank you everyone to come to listen, and please ask your question in live on the chat, or I will show you the name of the person who can also answer your question. So it is a second one, and just to remember the spirit of this study, second one study group, the spirit is do it together. We have a Slack channel. Join our Slack channel on Women Who Code Mobile. It's really kind, so we want a lot of kindness in it, and we want to do it step by step, and based on the Apple Learning Platform, because it's Apple and it's the language of Apple, so it's interesting to follow their way of doing. And the goal also, the spirit is to give you routine and to feel confident. So we will learn as the last time basic of SwiftUI, and the goal is to create an app each week. We will try chapter by chapter if it is possible. If we need more session, we'll make more session. And the input of this SwiftUI series. And if you like this way of doing, we will certainly make a Swift series after this one, certainly. But if you like it, and we will try every week to improve. Thank you, Vri, for the feedback from the first one, and I really love the feedback of everybody. So please feel free to give me the things that going well or doing wrong. So the inputs. So the last week we dive in the SwiftUI essentials, and today we will more focus on views. We have the beginning the other week, but we will see more views. From the chapters 2, we will see today, I think, the first part, creating a card view, because I try to know the time that I take to do it, and it is more than 20 minutes to explain. So I don't want a long time to a session, because it could be boring. So creating a card view, I think we will finish it today. So this is the input. So in it, there is modify and style views and create model. To answer your question, I don't know if Navati is here today, but Vri is here. So we are from all over the world, me from the Netherlands, Vri from Denver, and Navati for Toronto. So we are here to answer your question. So first, it is about modify and style views. Before we begin to code and to follow the tutorial from Apple, just the thing I think it is really important to understand, because it's really great in SwiftUI, it's the modifier. The modifier, it's a method that creates a new view from an existing view. It's mean when you are the last week, we have written Slack vstack, H stack, and Z stack. So it's a view. And the SwiftUI, the way of doing it SwiftUI is that you create a line of code, but it's also a view with another view. And after we will see that it's allowed to refresh the data on the view, but it will be later. Interesting part of SwiftUI. As you can see in this image, you have a view, another view, each time you create. So let's do it together. So what I want to do, not to show this part, boom. So I want to have my code on a part of the screen, and to add the tutorial on the other part. And last time I put the code in my GitHub, just to show you. It's I've decided not to make version as with commit and so on. I made a zip, and you can take it here. So you download the zip, you open the zip, and each week I will add the zip of today, the compact, the file of today. So if you want to see fastly the development that we have did in last week, or when we will have more compacts, when we will have more session, you will be able to refresh you and to compare. So I think it is really, it's easier to download and to see as fast as possible what we have done the other day. So here it is. So I downloaded the compact file. I open, and here you can have you have the code, and in SwiftUI you also have the Canva. If it is not open, you go here and you can canvas, and I can do it this, and it will show you what in live as you're coding, what you are doing. So the other day we were on the using stack to arrange views. Up, be careful from your eyes. So we did this part. I think we were here after that part. Just, I will hide this, maybe smaller. And the second remaining, no beef after that. So up this one. So second remainings, okay. Is everybody okay at this moment? Is everybody?
Betty, I was wondering, is there a way you can show people what the end result is going to look like, so they have an idea of what you're working towards?
Not this time, but the next time, yes.
Okay.
And also the question?
So
No?
are
Is
we, what is it that we're building here? It looks like a timer?
we will build a timer, yes. We'll build a timer, the view for the timer.
Mhm.
And we will modify the view. So I will continue as the other day. So here we have to follow the indication. So we will add a spacer just after the VStack. So in order to be able to see the end of a VStack, you can click just after the curly bracket. You can know where is the end of the VStack. So here we have to add a spacer. And also, and that's it, add a spacer between each VStack to use available space for the containing parent view. Step 2, add a leading alignment. A leading alignment for the second elapse, this one, and trailing. And in Swift, it's called trailing and leading for left. And so there's multiple way of doing. And here they say, yeah, you can also set the alignment by selecting the VStack and using the alignment option in the attribute inspector. The attribute inspector is here. And it is here. Here you can show you have accessibility, and just near you have attribute inspector. So there's two ways. You can choose to add parentheses in the code, and with the auto completion, Xcode show you different variable. But also here it's really cool and say leading. So here you have the leading, and the code is changing, and at the same time. Here also, you to select the VStack, you have to click on it, and you see vertical stack. If you select just after the parentheses here, you select the text. So be careful. Up on the vertical stack, the training. Here it is. So that's okay for that part. Don't forget anything. And also, as I mentioned earlier, you have modifier. It's as I underlined. It's a new view in a view. So here, for example, the tutorial asks us to add a font. Where a font on the second elapse. So the same thing. You can add the font in the code. Return, and here you say font, blah blah. Also, Control Z for to go back. But you can also, in the attribute inspector, select caption. And because we love that, I resume. Up, and I show the result. So here we have the font to customize. As I said, it's return a view. Now the header has the appropriate spacing. You create a placeholder for the circular timer. So we will add a circle. In SwiftUI, you have a lot of different shape. And here we will do the circle, but where the circle? The circle just above, I think, the H tag. If we see the preview, or inside the B stack, again, to see the VStack, well, you click on the curly, just after the curly bracket, and I think I will put it here. So a circle, parentheses, and here, and in order to make a hole, we say stroke, border, and inside we had a line with 24, and we don't need that part, so we erase it. Here we can find, here you have the detail of the func and all the thing that you can customize with the func with option click. What else? So is it the same thing? Yes, it is. I can make mistake, you know. So now add a H stack with a text view that displays speaker 1.
Oh, Betty, can I
Yes.
offer a suggestion?
Yeah.
You know, some people may notice there's a panel on the right that pops
Yes.
up when you add modifiers. So I don't know if you want to show people, like, you can add more modifiers through that panel, or think it'll pop up too if you just tap dot right underneath. Like
Here?
or, yeah, I mean, if you want to show people that.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly like that. That
And
little trick. Yep.
yes, if you want to show to add the other modifier, yes, you just have to, for example, you want to add an alert, you can type alert, or you can choose in the list control and the effect, and for example blur, and it is added in the parameters, it is displayed here. So that's really cool.
Yeah, SwiftUI has a lot of neat little windows like that you can take advantage of.
So my H stack, here I had my H stack with the text, so curly bracket with the text, and speaker 1 of 3, and it's displayed correctly, I think. After that, we add a button that you the forward fill image, as we mentioned, and as Michaela loved the Swift, the symbol, SF symbol. So here we will add another SF symbol just above in the button. So we had a button, and there's in SwiftUI, as the language evolve, not all the time, but really often, we have different way, and a day you learn a way of written a button, it could be more useful sometimes to use another way of do it. It depends on which apps you are developing. It depends on also the kind of data you want to action in your button. Or so here I will not put an action, but I put a curly bracket, and to add the label, this label part, there is this way also we can do, it's to enter. And so, but in a lot of tutorial, you can again have a different way of to write the button. So here I had my system image, and it is forward fill. Oops. My forward fill image, and that's okay. So add a spacer now between the text and the button. So here we add a spacer. Also, because above it's not really, the above is not fully good to, the position is not really good. So for that we had a padding. It's like a padding is like you push all the side of the view, because you've got a lot of view imbricated in your file. So it's like if you were pushing the different sides, and you put a padding where to the top of the VStack. So where is my VStack? Here. So I can do it like that. I'm not sure it is this one, this VStack. Yes, up, and I put a padding, and we will see that it is, I hope, much better. So add a padding to the top level VStack to bring the view in from the edge. And now the view is not fully ready, but we will add accessibility in our view, because as it's mentioned, there is a lot of article on voiceover on accessibility and which are really interesting. And so, but the default way of doing of Swift in kind of in certain view is to read the name of the image, not the title, but the name. So house, glass, dog, fill, it's not interesting. So we have to ignore that part. And the way of doing it is to put ignore. Just here we'll do it in the H tag, because we've got a lot of label in it. So we put accessibility element, and from the children, we will ignore it. Adding supplemental data in the next few steps improve the accessibility experience. So, okay, now it's saying nothing. So we have to tell him what to do, what to read. So we put the cool thing also is with auto completion. I can read when it's working, depending of the version of Xcode. And you can say label, and you will access label the main word, and you will find fastly what you want to find. So time remaining, and accessibility label. And we will also add an accessibility value for the time remaining to the H tag. So here, it seems like my computer wants to take off. Accessibility value, and put. Do you hear my cats? 10 minutes. So add an accessibility label to describe also the forward button. VoiceOver read the label, following by the inherent accessibility traits, next speaker button. So just after the follow EC, follow fill, you have the button, the image. And so just here we'll put accessibility. No, it's not working. It's a more letter. So next, speaker, or the forward fill. So here it is for the accessibility in this view. So have you got question? Maybe in this chat. You can unmute yourself. I think Gracia has give you the ability. No question? Is it the speed okay for you? Esther, for example? Sandy? No words?
No, I think it's great. I think you're doing wonderful. Thank you so much.
A voice, yes. Thank you. So the next thing we will do, it's creating a card view. So I say get started. Like creating a card view. And for that, we will create the models, the brain, you can say the brain of this part of the application. And for that, we will, to have a beginning of an architecture, we will create a folder. And you say, oh, create a group, sorry, I call it folder, like in my repository, models, and in it, we will put all the file regarding the models. It's easy to understand. The models is all the thing without SwiftUI things, all the foundation, but you can have also other framework. For this app, it's foundation. So my group of model inside, I really like command N to create a file. For me, it's working. Maybe it's the only shortcut that I can remind. Sometimes it's working. It's my computer want to, okay. So in the model groups, create a new file named team. This one, because it is model, so it's a Swift file without import SwiftUI at the beginning. And they will make me, wait, it's color. Because it's color, we have to import SwiftUI. Okay, lying. Team, okay. Oh, sorry. Oh, okay, so here, because it's color from Apple, and we have to import SwiftUI in the alphabetic order, but in the main model part, we shouldn't have. So here, it's an inner, we create theme, and it will have string in it, and Xcode should have to give me warning. Excuse me, do it up. The compiler throws an error because an enumeration must have cases to declare a row tab. We'll do it now. Each cases for each color. I prefer not to copy paste, but we'll up with wahoo. Sorry, real world. Yeah. This is not recognized, this one. Okay, so now we will add a color property name, accent color that return black. So after each case, we'll create a variable called accent color, which refer to my color. So it's a struct. Okay, And inside, we'll put a switch and a self switch. It means the different case we have in our enum, and switch must be exhaustive, yes. And here to fully understand the way it's doing. So for example, I have a case and I call this one because I've created an enum. It show me different cases, and I had, when I put the different cases, I have to have that way of doing with the return. And first it is, I will copy paste after, just to show you the way of doing with an enum. So black, and a case, for example, with purple, return black, white. Okay. And so it said switch must be exhaustive because I don't offer the cases, all my different case. So I will do it now, and I show you the way of doing with switch and case. It's we use it really a lot in real life. So now you do not complaining. Control B, other shortcut, which is in my mind all the time. So add a color property name main color that create a color using the enumeration value. So no, after the switch, after main color, and here I've got the row value. Okay, just to check. And the model, the real model now. And after that, we will create the data for the view, and we will create a struct for that. And here you have all the different variables. So for that, in the model, no, sorry, Control N will create another file, which is called daily scrum. And in my daily scrum, import foundation, create a daily scrum struct. So we'll create a struct, which is called, daily scrum. And as we have seen, saw before, we have to create the variables with title, attendees. This is an array of string, and also the length in minutes. It's an int. And the theme, we refer to the other that we have created before, our enum. So now we add an extension. Yes, we add an extension in it. It's allow us to separate in a proper way the function of the code, different function. We can it's more readable to create an extension. So here it's a array of daily scrum. And I will copy paste again, but maybe maybe just to show you, in order to understand what we are doing. And people want to do it. Oh, it's depend like this. So I will do the same. So I call my day, no, toujours pas no, daily scrum, and with the parameters. So here, I show you just the first one with different attendees. For example, Esther, Sandy, and after that we have a need to enter no, and this no, there is only one, and theme yellow. We call here, for example, the yellow. And don't forget the comma. It's do it all the time. Forget the comma when you have more than one in an array. So I will copy paste now. What Apple gives us. So here, Control I, and so that's okay for it. Control B just to check. And oops, too fast. Voila. Make a mistake. Yeah. So now we will create the card view. And the part which is interesting here is that it's really a good way to use the preview of SwiftUI. And we will see that in a few seconds. Because when you build an application, you have your main screen, but it's also interesting to be able to build the part of the screen with the preview way of doing of SwiftUI. You don't waste your time. So add a new SwiftUI view, not in the model, but here, Command N, my SwiftUI view, which is called card view. Oh, I put it here. Allez, voila, import a view, SwiftUI, so that's okay. It's the same. Add a constant name Scrum. Just here, yes, because we want to show the different things that hello world. So daily Scrum, which are the struct that we have built before. So as the tutorial mentioned, the compiler threw an error. So he said, miss your argument parameter for Scrum. And I say, okay, fix it. So he's asking for something. So we will give food. We will give him the thing that we are created before. So it's the static var Scrum. It's our daily Scrum, that simple data. And the first one, so 0, and here, Scrum. So now, no warning. So in card preview, create a static variable named Scrum and pass it to the card view initializer. Step 4, specify a background color for the preview. So yes, we'll show the preview here. And so it's a card. So we do not want to show, we want to be able to have a preview of not all iPhone, but a part of the screen of but not all the iPhone. And also we want to to be able to have a different background, not in reality, just in preview. So we choose the main color here, and also here we put a different layout. So 160. And also the cool thing here is that you can show different devices. It's devices iPhone SE, first generation, third generation. It's really interesting to do it, because sometimes it's really bad in a small screen. So it's very interesting to be able to preview. Update now. Okay, preview, that's okay. It's not all iPhone, it's just a card. So now we have to change hello world in something more specified. So Scrum title. And so as I already mentioned, you can do it, the font on the attributes inspector on the right, or you can do it in the code. Do what you want. Headlines. Sometimes the auto-completion does not working, so it is really useful to go to the attribute inspector. So embed the text view inside a VStack. And the last time we saw that there is different way of doing to embed, the different way of embedding a view. So I like the one with command click, which embed VStack, but also you can just write VStack curly braces, and that's the same thing. Here, embed the text view inside a VStack with leading. So I can show you also the way that we have done before. Vertical stack, and it is leading left, okay. And did I forget something? Arrange high view in a vertical line and text and element argument to position view along the horizontal axis. Add a spacer followed by a H tag. Where inside my VStack? Yes, inside your VStack. The spacer up here, and also by H tag that embed a label for displaying the number of attendees. So H tag with my label. Label is the same as if you put an image and a text, but it's much better because you can specify with less line the text and the image. So here we select it and we call the screen that attendees that count. It is the number and the not icon. Made a mistake. System image. It's not so different. System image. I forget something. Title. What is the name of the system image? Person. That's 3. Okay. Not title. Okay. Do not need title. What is say? Remove title. So easy. Up. Why did he give me a title with a label? Okay. This is the first thing that he showed. After that, add a spacer and a label displaying the meeting length. So a spacer and another label, but I don't listen to the autocompletion now. I will do it by myself with a scrum. That length, please, autocompletion, come on. Alors, length in minutes. The bad side, the dark side of the autocompletion when it's not working. Okay, clock. Is it okay? Yes, it's okay. Donc at now 20 points of training paddings to the meeting length label. Here, I put a padding in the code. Trailing that 20. Style all the fonts inside the hashtag as caption. So where is my hashtag? Here. So I click inside the hashtag. It's a font and caption. Add padding to the VStack. Where is my VStack? Yes. Add a padding to the VStack and set a foreground color. And it's Scrum, that theme, that accent color. Next, you'll create a label style to stack the Scrum length and clock icon horizontally. With the label style protocol, you can create a consistent design through SwiftUI by using the same label style for several views. Create a new file. Command N. Copy paste. Okay. And here, is it okay? Import SwiftUI. Why did I not create directly a SwiftUI file? Import SwiftUI. I will keep foundation. I don't know if it's useful. But now in the before the new version of Xcode, this which one? Which is my version of Xcode? Yes. So in that 3, before, when you implement a func, which is not which is from a framework, for example, I implement a UI things, and there is not SwiftUI. Before, you've got warning, and now Xcode add automatically the proper framework. New things, trading, label, I call the label style. And I've got a warning. The compiler threw an error, that means the requirement. Create an empty make body func. Maybe it's already in. If you want to, no. Sometimes if I put the alias, the good aliases, he give me the good func alone. Proper func. Your project now compile without error. Add a H stack. Without error. Up here. Have you got a question? Something? Nobody stopped me. So I continue. So H tag, inside the H tag, add configuration that title. Sorry, I will focus for 1 hour. Yep. So here I say configuration title and configuration that's icon. Configuration parameter is the label style configuration, which contain the title and the icon. Add an extension on label side. Extension label style where self equal training label style, and here variable training icon that's self. Sometime EDD alone and sometimes not. In the step 8 in card view Swift, replace the padding with the new in card view Swift. So I have to go here, replace the padding with the new label style. So which padding? The new label, so to length in minute label, length. Yes, yeah, this one. Wake up, Betty, wake up. It's not so late. Label style training icon. Okay, Control B. Resume also, no, Control B, and after resume, visually card view is complete and you can display it in a list. Before you do, again, accessibility modifier to improve the experience for voiceover users. So we'll do, if you remember the accessibility, apply the accessibility at traits is idiom modified to the text view that display the Scrum title. So in card view, in my Scrum title here, I will add accessibility. Train, I train is header. This modifier helps convey the information architecture of the view by reading the Scrum title followed by heading. Use an accessibility modifier to add a label that describes the content of the first label in the H tag. In the, as I said, the real life, not a lot of people know how to add accessibility in iOS. And not a lot of people think about adding accessibility. Accessibility modifier in person 3, here, just accessibility label. Lens minutes, no lens minutes, oh, attendees, 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 and the number of attendees in the H tag, that's okay. Add a similar accessibility modifier to the label, second label in the H tag, which is clock, just before. Also, in SwiftUI, the way you put the different modifier, I mean, accessibility label and the label style and so on, it's really important. Sometimes it's not working just because it have to be before. Sometimes Xcode mention that please put it before another modifier, but not all the time. So you have to be really careful when you are building a special view. You have the design of the part and you are building in SwiftUI. You have to be careful that you are not doing the wrong way. You've got the good modifier, but maybe not the good position. Less in minutes, a minute meeting, a clock. No, and just you who is it? Minutes meeting. Minute. And that's okay. There's also a different way of changing this text regarding the number of, if you've got, you have to put the plural, or there's a different technique to do it on your, in order to be conform with the number of attendees or minutes, for example. So I will put this code, as I said, in the GitHub. And if you have questions now, just do it. And also you can join the Slack and the Women Who Code mobile. And really happy to share. And I hope you are also happy.
Thank you so much for joining, everyone. And we have the next session next week, right?
Yes, exactly.
Yes. So don't miss the next session. Thank you so much for joining, and see you there on Slack if you have any questions. Thank you, Betty, for being here today.
Thank you, Gracia.
Thank you, everyone.